3, 2, 1, Feuer!
Command Post of the 61st Infantry Regiment, issuing orders to the company commanders. We are preparing today to break through the main line of our enemy. To do so, we must cross the open ground as quickly as possible, and then throw the enemy out of their positions on the hills. If we manage to break through today, we can use the momentum to drive the enemy in front of us. The first company is ordered to open the battle and to clear our enemy positions on the hills, lying north of the road. An infantry platoon of the neighboring company and tank support is at their disposal. The Russian defenders have to be driven off this hill, so that our attack does not falter. The enemy forces should be the remains of a company with infantry reinforced by anti-tank guns. We assume that further reserves of the Russian 169th Rifle Regiment are on the way from Suez. If you clear the position quickly, the way to Lapi is clear and we can encircle the enemy from the north and south. Okay, welcome. I want to show you a test print of our campaign book Crossing the Narew. This is our dynamic campaign system, which you can use with the core game Assault Red Horizon 41. And this is the campaign book now for test issues. I printed out to see if all the editorial work is inside and all the graphical issues are now solved, and it's a really nice book I have in my hands here now. So the campaign is completely dynamic. It takes place in June 1941, and these are the starting battles crossing the river Narew. The German side has to take control over the bridge and the place Suez, which leads then the road to Bialystok to close the pockets there. So the campaign, the Soviet side has a mission to prevent the Germans jumping over the river and prevent the Germans to gain control for the bridge. And is a campaign in which you play 2 days of intense fightings in this scenario. So including this book includes 17 scenarios, and which scenarios do you play is depending on the outcome of each scenario you have to play it. And I will show you some insights of this book now for you to get a better feeling how this system is working. So you can read the table of contents. Of course, you have campaign rules, you have campaign play rules, and then you are starting with the intro Red Dawn, which is always the first scenario, and depending on the outcome you will have to choose the next scenario to play. Of course, then you have your campaign log, your unit experience log, and of course on the back side the unit identification and classification table, because you are getting support units attached to your formations, and you can in some cases decide your own which kind of units you want to take, and for that I prepared this list. Okay, and then of course we have an introduction chapter with a short view of the historical situation. We take it out from historical maps, the situation, and we see of course here noted the river Narew and the city of Bialystok, and we are talking about the 7th German Infantry Division, which is a Bavarian division stated, and the HQ was in Munich, and which is in my home state. And you have the 13th Soviet Rifle Division. Then you have a level below the strategic situation. You have of course here the concrete situation of 7th Infantry and the Soviet side 13th Rifle Division, a small situation. And then you have of course here a tactical map or strategic situation for these 2 parts of the divisions, the Infantry Regiment 61 from the German side and the 169th Rifle Regiment of the Soviet side. And you see where the companies are located, and the players take control over one of these companies and you have to play parts of these regiments through the whole campaign. Then of course you have campaign rules from beginning from the setup, selecting your core units which you are leading all the scenarios through, and they are belonging to you and they can gain experience. You can of course switch sides if you want to play an alternate history setting. Then the red side will be the German Wehrmacht and the blue side will be Soviet army. Then it goes through the scenario setup to reinforcement. Of course, you have to play the battle phases. You have of course a follow-up which leads almost to the experience adjustment, because your units can gain in some case experience markers which gave new abilities or effects for them. Of course, core units can lose experience if they got destroyed, then you have to decide what they are losing. And yes, so you have a small sector map here in which you can see all the maps you will have to play or pass through your campaign goes, depending on the results of the battles. Yes, you have different passes to go to the bridge or the German side, or you can, if you take the initiative, if you're playing the Soviet army, you can prevent the Germans getting to the bridge and throw them back or hold off them and delay their attack to the bridge, and can gain other maps to play. So you have your victory conditions. So you have a few passes to end this campaign, of course. And okay, we have a scenario explanation, and then you can directly start with the first intro, which is Red Dawn. You have of course here the situation of your company, and of the German side and of the Soviet side, and then you have of course here in each scenario a tactic map. Where are you here now? It goes to the attack, so the German 1st company attacks the 5th company of the Soviet side to gain control over this hillside, and then you have this map transferred into the game map. You have to build up. Here's a hillside and the 3 targets, and you have of course your number of turns, 3 objectives. You have your starting formations out for your core formations, so the German player is playing with 1 tank formation, an infantry, a platoon, and the Soviet is defending. You have here the special rules for this scenario. So the red one get 2 medium anti-tank guns additional to the starting formations, and the blue faction can randomly draw some infantry formation cards. Okay, setup should be simultaneously, and you have victory conditions, and depending on them you proceed to the next map you see here below. So, and that is deciding about the plot of the campaign. So perhaps the Germans got a total defeat in the first map and cannot break through the front line, so you have to swap to 8A to proceed. So I will show you 8A. Then is the scenario pushback. You have of course again some text how the situation is for the both sides, and you see here on the map the campaign is proceeding to another tile, to another part of the strategic map. So the 1st company is shifting to close this lag in the front and defend for the 5th company, because the Soviets getting to make a counterattack, because the 1st company has failed to break through, so the Soviets gain initiative and want to make a counterattack. So you have again build up your map like here. You have the special rules, and of course, okay, so we are assuming the German will get here a victory and cancel off the counterattack, so it goes further in sector 6. So we jump back to sector 6, and we have now here the situation of a tough encounter. Again, some text here. So it's now from the time is the morning of the next day, and you see proceeding the Germans cancelled off the counterattack, gained back or tried to gain back initiative, and they got here in an encounter battle, in a meeting engagement. You see it on the map here. Yeah, you have the same situation, both clashing with their tanks and infantry on 3 targets, and try to gain control of them. And depending on this third scenario, the campaign is proceeding. Let us assume the German gain back the initiative and make a normal victory. So we go to 4A, and 4A should now be last and final battle to jump over this bridge over the river Narew and the village Suras. And now you see the first company is fighting their way over the river, and this is a kind of final battle now. You have to jump over the river. You have, of course, again, depending on the outcomes of the former battles, some special rules, and depending on this result, you count all your VPs over 4 battles, and then you can check your victory conditions. So I assume you have noted in the campaign log what you gained on VPs through all the battles. So VPs are described in the single scenario description, and you can of course get unit count points. So these are point values. If you destroy more point value of your enemy as your enemy, you gain 1 extra point. So you count this together and see what you have reached in this campaign, and you can here choose your victory condition. So we are ended in sector 4. We had a minor victory, of course, we assume, in the last battle, and we have less than 9 victory points. So we gain a blue minor victory, for example. Yes, that's in a fast and quick preview how this campaign is working. Of course, to log your experience of the unit, you can use this sheet, copy it out, and write down your experiences. And I think you will have a lot of fun with this book and with our game system. So, okay, so if you want to know more about this campaign system, just write me, I will come back to you. And I hope you get a better picture now of the campaign, how it works. And yes, I'm looking forward to bring this into reality. See you on Facebook, see you on the page. Have a nice